Is a case about American Chemical Corporation and the Collinsville plant that produces sodium chlorate. It's done by Matt Gray at CSU Fresno for Dr. Shiroki in Finance 139. First, American Chemical Corporation was one of the largest chemical companies in the U.S. at the time. It made an offer to purchase Universal Paper Corporation, but UPC had claimed that the purchase of the company would violate the Clayton Act by reducing competition by too much. ACC put the Collinsville plant up for sale to maintain competition in the market and to make the federal government think that it was a more competitive market, and Dixon Corporation was targeted as the main prospective buyer. So the past performance of American Chemical Corporation, it just compared to the peer group, it most closely associated with Monsanto. It fared all right in light of the OPEC oil embargoes in the 70s, when the Middle Eastern countries had essentially stopped shipping oil to the U.S. It had caused an oil crisis that led the country into a recession. Well, American Chemical fell during the recession. They didn't really grasp a whole lot more market share or anything like that. They were struggling a little bit. The higher cost of energy had reduced their profit margins. But after the recession, they'd rebounded very well. Monsanto, on the other hand, was able to grow much more quickly than American Chemical during the recession. But after the recession, they weren't able to grow as well as the other firms in the industry. Now, Collinsville plant competition. Collinsville plant produced 40,000 tons of sodium chloride every year. They were obviously a significant producer of the chemical, and they were located in the southeast near the majority of the nation's manufacturers. If American Corporation held the plant, they would have had a strong competitive advantage because of the location. They were already a specialty chemical company, and that would it would increase their availability of distributing the chemical, so it really would have given them a competitive advantage. So what were the betas and the cost of capital for the Collinsville plant? We compared them to Southern and Brunswick, as those were the two most closely associated firms. They were the most similar in size, and they were also pure plays. All they did, they specialized in producing sodium chlorate. We averaged their unlevered betas to come up with an unlevered beta of 1.093 for the Collinsville plant. And then when we relevered it, the beta came to 1.366. The cost of equity for the firm was 12.25%. The cost of debt was 11.25% before the tax benefit and 5.9% after the tax benefit, resulting in a cost of capital of just under 9%. So the plant cash flows without the laminate technology over a 5-year period would be about a little over $63,000, and if the plant was held for the full 10 years, which would be the life of the plant, it would be over $12.5 million. To get the cash flows after 1984, we would average the growth in each category from 1980 to 1984 for the project, and then use those averages to project through 1989. Now, to determine the plant cash flows with the laminate, again, it depends on how long it's held. Over 5 years, the cash flows would yield about, again, $8,300,000, and the 10-year holding period would yield over $17 million. The projections were done in the same manner as the plant cash flows without the laminate. So what is the value of the Collinsville plant at the end of this? It depends on the buyer time horizon. How long they plan on holding it would really affect their return. But over 5 years, which was the lowest time that was considered, the plant would roughly be about $12.5 million. Now, if you were to hold for the life of the plant, which would be 10 years, it's closer to the value is closer to $17 million. So the price of the plant would range anywhere from 11 to 17 million, depending on the holding period. Now, the strategic issues of the plant, it was a huge victory for Dixon because it was located in the southeast, again, like, close to most manufacturers of the paper and pulp industry, which were the main buyers of sodium chlorate. Dixon already provided paper manufacturers with other chemicals, such as sulfuric acid and aluminum sulfate. So they would already be able to, they already had clients, people who would be able to buy the chemicals from them. They'd be able to use their existing sales team to sell the product to those firms. And they also knew that there would be a growing market for sodium chlorate, also with an increase in the cost or the price of sodium chlorate. So they'd be able to kind of grow their profits in that way. And then getting into the laminate technology, it only made the deal better, as it would lower production costs and long-term energy costs. So my recommendation would be buy the plant and invest in the laminate technology. Hold the plant for its entire life. As time goes on and energy costs would be rising, they'd be saving 15 to 20% in energy costs, which would be millions of dollars over the course of 10 years. It really sweetens the deal and makes it worthwhile. But is it financially plausible for Dixon to be able to finance the entire project? Well, Dixon would be able to pay for the financing. They would definitely be able to cover it. There was a positive NPV on the entire project. Collinsville was making $42 million a year in sales, and $4 million of that had turned to profit. And if the laminate technology was adopted, the profit would only increase from there as production costs fell. And that's all I've got, so thanks for watching.